with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 for so long already because I'm a solo traveler and I'm a solo creator. So I don't have anyone to help me with my videos, and having such a tiny camera, it's insane because I can record myself while I'm doing photography or when I'm doing behind the scenes or whatever. I can vlog with it very easily because it's very small. So when the Osmo Pocket 4 came out, I was super excited to see how it would be. So today I'm going to tell you my very honest opinion about what I like, what I don't like, and also I have to say before anything else, this video is not sponsored. They did send me the camera, but I wasn't asked to do a YouTube video at all. This is my own choice, and I will make more because I genuinely love this camera, like the Osmo Pocket 3. So this one, obviously, even more. And as the title says, I'm gonna tell you some things nobody talks about. Spoiler alert, one of the things is the photography capabilities of this camera. I've been a professional photographer for 15 years, so when I tried the new upgrade of this camera when taking photos, I was quite shocked. And I'm gonna show you one of the raw files for you to be blown away. So yeah, that's one of the things nobody's talking about, and I'm very excited particularly. Anyway, I'm going to jump into it, and first of all is the design. The design is very similar to the Osmo Pocket 3, but with a few upgrades. They did listen when we were complaining about a few things, and one of the things is, so when you switch it on, now you have two buttons here, and they are fully customizable. And this is very useful because I shoot in 24 frames per second for normal shots, but also in 60 to do slow motion. So you set it up, you switch the settings just by pressing the button. That's it. So you don't miss anything, and this is very efficient. Also, something I love, and I didn't hear anyone talking about this, is that when you switch it off and the gimbal closes, now if you have a filter on it, the space was so tiny before that if you had a filter on top of your lens, it wouldn't close. And let me tell you that you need ND filters to shoot with this camera. ND filters, if you don't know what they are, is like sunglasses for your camera, and you need them. So this is an upgrade as well, and they also cover the SD card slot. This was very criticized time ago, and I'm very glad they did because now everything is safer. A major upgrade, people take it for granted a little bit, I think, is the internal storage. 107 gigs of storage. The other day, before it came out, I went with my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 to a photo shoot, and I wanted to record behind the scenes. I forgot the SD card because I have a drone as well, the Mini 4 Pro, and I had the card in the drone and I forgot to switch it, and I couldn't record with Osmo Pocket 3. Thankfully, that day I had the DJI Osmo 360 with internal storage, and I managed to record behind the scenes. But that's how important it is to have internal storage. You don't have to worry about anything, no friction. You put the camera in your pocket and that's it. So this is very good. And the next thing I want to talk about is about the quality and stabilization. I'm a professional photographer and I have big cameras, and it's a pain in the ass to don't breathe and try to hold everything steady because I don't use gimbals. They are very big and I travel alone, so I don't use gimbals. So many times to get the shot I want stable, I take this one out and I record it with this one. It's so freaking smooth. You give this to a kid and they can take a smooth footage. So it's insane. And also the image quality. I don't know if you know about this because this is a bit more complex. Before, the Osmo Pocket 3 was shooting D-Log-M. And now it's just D-Log. Basically, you have with this one 14 stops of dynamic range. And there is a huge difference when you are handling footage in post-production. Because with the Osmo Pocket 3, yes, you can do a lot, but you have to be careful because otherwise the footage can break a little bit or create like color artifacts. With this one, I have to say, I drove very early in the morning to Tegalalang Terrace in Bali. In half an hour, the light was insane. So I was worried. I was like, okay, let's see which footage I'm gonna get here because it's very sunny and the shadows were terrible. So I was like, okay, let's test it out. Insane, the footage I've got there. The footage came out super colorful, respecting the blue of the sky, and the shadows had a lot of detail on them. So when I went into post-production, this is one thing you have to know. You have to download a specific LUT. It's for free and it's available in the DJI website. I'm gonna link it below to make it easy for you. But obviously, because I love color grading, I did my own cinematic LUT for this camera. It's how I edited all this footage you are seeing in this video, and you are going to have it available below for just $6. I made it incredibly accessible for everyone because I know if you are new into this, it's a bit tricky to color grade this footage. So if you like it, you can grab it below. And another huge upgrade that I loved. I looked incredibly stupid recording that scene, and I was boiling and sweating, but it was worth it. Is the 4K at 240 frames per second, which is insane. When you set that, you cannot record in log, okay? It has to be the normal color profile. It doesn't matter, because I was actually manipulating a lot in post-production the colors, and it took it quite well. So here it's me running, looking all dreamy around the rice terraces in Bali, just to show you this shot. And it's so nice because you can slow down the footage by a lot, and you can create amazing scenes. I think this upgrade is one of my favorite ones as well from the DJI Osmo Pocket 4. One of the things I have to call out from this camera is the zoom. There is X2 and X4. For me, the X2 is very good. I was actually surprised. But to be honest, the X4, useless, in my opinion. For me, it was useless. It's like, who is going to use this? It looks very bad. Maybe if you create content for Instagram and small screens, it's not too bad. But I'm a photographer, I make videos, and for me it was like, no, I'm not gonna use this. The X2 is quite nice, but this camera is not for that, okay? It's one fixed lens. If you want a close-up, you get closer, which is what I did with these flowers as well, and it looked incredible anyway. And X2, very good, but X4, in my opinion, it shouldn't even be there. That's my humble opinion. And another very important thing about this camera, the reason why I bought the Osmo Pocket 3 in the first place. First of all, for its size and the quality. Second of all, because of the AI tracking. If you are a solo creator, if you don't have anybody to film you, that's me, it's a pain in the ass because it's very hard to get the shots. And obviously, I'm the one creating the videos, so I have to appear in the shots, right? And I'm a photographer, so I do behind the scenes for you. So I'm shooting with my camera and I don't have anyone to record me. So when I travel solo, I put this one in one selfie stick. I love it. I have a video explaining about accessories that I love. I have this selfie stick from Insta360. Look at the size. I don't know if it's focused or not. I don't see anything. Anyway, you can check that video later. But if you click here, it's like a little tripod that extends quite a lot. So I put it in the floor and then I track myself, I walk, and this tiny camera follows me everywhere. And this is super dynamic because it looks like someone is recording me. Many people tell me in some of my videos, the tripod fell anyway. Many people tell me in some of my videos, are you traveling solo? Who is recording you? The camera is recording me. It looks very nice when it follows you, and now there is an upgrade and the AI active tracking, it's even better. Because I was going through leaves and through objects and it didn't lose me after. When I appeared again behind the bushes, it was still recording me, which is amazing. This for me, just because of that, this camera is perfect for my YouTube videos, vlogging, photography behind the scenes, whatever. So that's something I really, really love. And now we are going to talk about my department, the photography capabilities of this camera. Oh my God, like when I saw it, I was like, I'm so happy. I do professional self-portrait photography during my travels. I use my Sony a7R5, I use my Sony a7C II. I love my self-portraits. I've been doing it for many years, so they look incredible. But it's a freaking pain in the ass to set up a 3-leg tripod, okay? And then the camera and put it on vertical. It's hard. With this one, I put it in the selfie stick, and with the Mimo app in the phone, I can see the framing, I can focus myself, I can move the gimbal, and I can shoot from the phone. It's super simple, and I tried it quickly. I'm gonna do a full review on my channel, so if you didn't yet, please subscribe. I'm gonna dedicate a whole video to photography. Maybe I'm gonna shoot during the whole day in Bali just with this one. I'm gonna challenge myself and I'm gonna show you the results. But let's go to one of the photos I took for you to see the dynamic range of the photography with this camera. Because before, the Osmo Pocket 3 was able to shoot 9.4 megapixels. This one is 37. That's a crazy upgrade. And to be honest, I was very skeptical. I was like, okay, yeah, it's going to be like a lot of megapixels, but it's going to look like very crispy and over-sharped. I'm going to show you, okay? Give me a second. I have to record the screen. Okay, here we go. I have a few shots here. I'm not gonna show you these ones. Well, they are good as well, but I was using the lower resolution and this is a JPEG. I didn't even realize, but it's actually very good, okay? I can even use one of my presets and you see how it color grades. This one is Bali film, this is the before, and this is the after. And it's a JPEG, but I don't wanna show you that because this is not the full potential. So if you go here, and the lighting is freaking terrible, you are going to see, look at this photo. You can barely see me because of the shadows. So let's fix that, because actually this is the best photo to show you the dynamic range. So I'm gonna elevate the exposure here. This is a bit better. I'm gonna raise the shadows. Look at the shadows. I'm gonna zoom in now for you to see. This is already too much. Let's leave it there. I'm gonna zoom in. There is no noise whatsoever. And this is the before. Look how black it was. This is the after, and you see all the details of the rise. For me, I was like, wow. Okay, let's fix this a little bit. I want to manipulate it for you to see how well it takes the manipulation, which is what I care about as a photographer. And you should too. Okay, I'm gonna go lower in the highlights. Look how it's recovering the sky. It was white, now it's blue. Let's make it a bit more like that. I'm gonna make it a bit warmer. It's a bit, yeah, there you go. Much better. So this is just the raw file without any color grading. I'm gonna zoom in. Look, the quality of this photo. Look at the leaves, look at my face. I'm gonna zoom in even more, even though obviously it's going to deteriorate a little. But look, I didn't apply anything. This is the raw file. I didn't sharpen it, anything. It doesn't look taken with a small sensor camera. Now I'm gonna apply a preset, one of my presets, obviously. I like this one, Vintage Bali. Super dark, but let's raise the shadows again, because everything resetted. The exposure a little bit. I'm gonna remove the vignette, because my preset adds vignette. There you go, so you can see the sky. I'm gonna do here a radial filter. There you go, to give me more light. I'm gonna reduce the light a little bit here. Then the clarity, you can play with this, but I like to remove clarity. I don't like a lot of clarity. This is a very good tip for you. If you don't like the sharpness of small sensor cameras, play with the clarity, reduce it a bit. It's gonna remove that ugly sharpness. So I'm gonna keep it like this, texture like this, vibrance tiny bit more. We want it to pop, there you go. I mean, look at this. Look at this. I just can't believe it. This is from a DJI Osmo Pocket 4 with such a tiny sensor. Look the before and look how it recovered the shadows and the highlights. It's incredible. And this is not the best edit because I don't want to take too long. But let's go to another one. I've got this local walking here. You see the lighting. The shadows were terrible here, but let's reframe a little bit. So it's in the middle. Let's apply the preset first. Let's apply this one, Bali Film Warm. This one is available on my website, by the way. You wanna check it out. But you see, like it's very ugly, it's black. The shadows are black. So I'm gonna raise the shadows and the exposure. And I think I have vignette applied as well in this preset, so I'm gonna remove it as well. Look how it recovered the rise. I'm gonna zoom in because I want you to see. This is the before, black. And this is the after. Like, it's crazy. I'm gonna remove the grain because this preset adds grain as well, you see? Because Bali Film, I wanted to make it like grainy. So I removed the grain and then you can remove, if you like, the vignette. I like to add it, but just to show you. Oof, this is too much now. This is very fake. I'm gonna, yeah, much better. So look at the before and look at the after. 37 megapixels. Zooming in again so you can see it. And I didn't sharpen it. I can even sharpen it if you like, but I don't like to over sharp my photos. I'm gonna add vignette. Then you can add a mask here and add more light so I can see him more. There you go. This is crazy. More vibrance I'm gonna add. And now, something I want to manipulate as well for you to see. I want to do a full video about this, but now that we are here and we have only 2 photos, I really want to show you. This is how you see, because many people are going to tell you the specs. I want to show you how it works, because this is how you see the camera performing. So let's go to HSL Luminance. Okay, this is what it's applied on my preset by default, but you can modify everything yourself. So I'm gonna go to Luminance, and the yellow is plus 15. Here, you see? So maybe it's too much. So I'm gonna reduce it. Look, I'm gonna overdo it, you see? But look how well the colors are manipulated from such a tiny sensor. It's insane. I'm gonna keep it like that. And this is the before, the raw file, and the after. So you tell me if you cannot take photos now with this camera. I'm gonna apply sharpness a little bit. 80, more radius, maybe 1.7 is what I normally do. Before, and after. To take my self-portrait photos when I travel alone, this is a game changer. Obviously, I'm gonna keep using my cameras. I'm a photographer, so I'm not gonna get lazy. This is dangerous, actually. I'm gonna use my professional cameras and lenses, but many times, if I don't have them with me, I'm gonna shoot with this one. So those are my favorite features. There are many other new ones, like this light as well. It's very useful to have it. I always record during the day, but it's useful to have it because if you're walking around a city and you need light, this is very useful, and it powers with the camera, and it's super tiny. But my honest opinion, if you don't have the Osmo Pocket 3, yes, get it, you know? Even though now people are talking about the Osmo Pocket 4 Pro. But it's like, are we gonna be waiting all the time? There is gonna be always a better camera in a few months. And this is a trap. When I bought my DJI Mini 4 Pro, right after, like after a month, the 5 came out. And I was like, no way. But I don't regret it because the 4 Pro, it's incredible. So don't fall into that trap, okay? You just have to bite your nails and don't buy the Pro, okay? I know it's hard, but if you want it, just get it because it's an amazing camera. If you have the Osmo Pocket 3, this is a bit more tricky. So I'm gonna tell you my very honest opinion. It depends on what you do. If you are doing videos just for fun and you feel the Osmo Pocket 3 is enough, don't fall into the trap of buying the 4 because the 3, it's incredible enough. Yes, there is a massive difference for me in the dynamic range, in many other things that I love. So if you have the budget and you are geeky about these things and it's your passion and you love it, why not? But if you are thinking, oh, I don't have enough money, should I get it? Maybe I need it. No, if you have the Osmo Pocket 3, I don't think you need it. Just get it if you really have the budget and you are very picky about these things and you are nerdy like me about these things. Let me know your thoughts below, and if you're gonna get it, I'm very curious to know what you think, so just drop the comment below and I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Big love from Bali.